Welcome, Family Heads, to the official Season 2 premiere of the Family album. I'm your host, AJ Tanari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Oh, Matt, it's been too fucking long, man.
Bro, I know. It has been, I gotta really hand it to you with those solo reviews. When I was doing mine, I literally was just like, wow, this fucking sucks. It was just so dry. I think I told you I sounded like the Watch Mojo lady at one point. Yeah. I literally just was like, this is so dry and not at all what the tone of our podcast is.
No, dude, I felt that because it's such a different dynamic when we're separate, because everything's scripted. Mm-hmm. We're trying to sound more professional in a sense when clearly we're not.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I feel like the more we did it, the better we got.
But for sure. But
nothing beats the classics.
No. It's great to be back in the studio. It's weird to be back in the studio too. I almost kind of thought we'd never get here.
I know, same. It felt like an impossible goal to reach.
They kind of locked us out actually because the ratings of the show, they didn't like all the constant mobs, and then
and Nate Roos just crawling around,
and Kyle. Oh,
rest in peace.
But anyway, AJ.
Yeah.
What do we got today?
Oh, man. For our premiere episode, we're bringing back a fan favorite band and also talking about a band I feel has a kind of a kinship with previous band.
Yeah, I would say so. They also are very fascinating because of their internet following playing into their music, and sort of their music being a sub product.
Yeah,
in a way, it weaves back and forth between the music videos and the music, but they just made all around great content. We are referring to Tally Hall, and the first band we were talking about was Fun, but we'll get to that later.
You guys probably could have guessed from the title of this episode.
That's true. Shout out to our listeners who can't read.
That's true. All you guys who can't read, we love you. People who can read, we love you, but a little less.
Just a little bit less.
Just a little bit less.
But you don't need to be able to read in order to enjoy the Family album. Season 2, Episode 1.
That's right, Matt. So, what album would you like to start with this week?
Ooh, man, I missed deciding this.
I know.
Let me see. I feel like we maybe need to start with Aim and Ignite. Okay. Just to get it out of the way.
I agree. I feel like there's at least the Tally Hall album is going to be more fun to discuss.
For sure.
Aim and Ignite's more of an obligation.
Yes, it is. Oh, man, you're going to hear a lot more about the track record and history of Nate Roos and Mr. Antonov and Mr. Dost. But AJ, a little bit of a surprise for you.
What's that?
You were carrying a lot of the shit that we have done throughout this entire podcast. Mm-hmm. So I think the least I can do is give you a history.
Oh my God, Matt, that'd be so nice.
So without further ado, Aim and Ignite was released on August 25th, 2009 under the music label Network. Among the core members are Andrew Dost on piano, guitars, theremin, percussion, keyboards, flugelhorn, trumpet, synthesizers, glockenspiel, and backing vocals. Jack Antonoff on lead guitar, drums, percussion, backing vocals, and Nate Roos, the one and only, on lead and backing vocals. The record was produced by Stephen Shane McDonald of Red Cross and Tenacious D.
Oh, shit.
Fucking amazing thing to hear.
Damn.
In Apple Tree Studios. The album had a pretty decent reception, receiving a 3.5 out of 5 from AllMusic, a B+ from the Aquarian Weekly, and an 89% from AbsolutePunk.net. It reached number 26 on Sputnik Music's top 50 albums of 2009. And some additional personnel shout-outs.
Okay.
We got a fucking lot of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like given the nature of this album and its Baroque sort of tone, we kind of need to shout out everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of musicians on this thing.
I'm going to try to be fast.
All right.
We got Jazz Thor on trombone, Double G on saxophones, Laura Wickles. Wickles? Laura Wicks on oboe, Phil Parla piano on accordion. I should have practiced these before.
Oh, that's why you played the accordion, because the last name's Piano, dude.
Oh, it all adds up.
His parents kind of chose a profession for him.
That's true. It was written in the stars. That's actually another Nate Roos song. Anyway, Mike Witz on viola, Eno Witz on violin, Timothy Liu on cello, Vanessa Freebairn Smith on cello, Neil Hammond on violin, John O'Reilly on drums, Stephen Shane, actually, he did some backing vocals.
Okay.
Let me see. He also did bass. Sorry, Roger Joseph Manning on Calliope. Sorry, Roger Joseph Manning Jr.
Guy had fucking Calliope on this album?
Yeah,
Jesus.
I know exactly which one it is too. Christopher Bautista on trumpet, Connie Korn on vocals, Karen Mills on vocals, Ida Realm on vocals, Anna Warrenker on vocals, and Rachel Antonoff, Jack Antonoff's sister, on vocals.
Wow.
Okay, that was a lot of breath.
Yeah.
I just unplugged my headphones by accident. Anywho, one last thing I would like to mention, AJ, before we wrap up this little history.
Yeah.
A moment of silence for the, I would say, Lost Fun member, Sam Means.
Okay.
Sam Means, he's not dead, don't worry. Sam Means was actually Nate Russ's like second half in his original band, The Format, and I found out he had a hand in writing a lot of these songs and like arranging. Got no fucking creds whatsoever. And
dude, he got fucking Bill fingered.
Yes,
Holy
he did
shit.
get Bill fingered. And the thing is too, like, I don't know if this is a band decision. I think it was a publicist decision, it looks like. Because probably maybe like 4 was too many.
Gotcha.
But like, yeah, I just think it kind of sucks because the whole reason why this like Fun has any sort of sound in this album, like tone-wise with the Baroque like characteristics, is because of him.
Damn.
Because that's what The Format had in all their albums, pretty much, actually. They kind of had these like interesting like horn arrangements and like string arrangements and shit. So The Format made fun. So, yeah.
Like it or not.
Like it or not.
Nate Russ played a big part.
Sam Means matters. Justice for Sam Means.
Just for Sam Means.
How about that?
Sam,
okay?
if you listen to this podcast, which we know you do.
We know.
You know, you're loved to hear the family album. Love to have you on the show.
I like The Format a lot. Except for B-sides and rarities. What the fuck was that album?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Oh, we will get to that.
Down the line.
But how'd I do with the history? There was a lot to read there.
There was a lot of history, man. I gotta say, I liked the delivery. There was a lot of information to intake. You hit the details very well. You also provided a lot more details than I would have. But hey, to each their own.
To each their own.
Plus, you brought up a good issue with Mr. Sam Means. So, Matt, I give that a B+ on the tier list.
Oh, very similar to a lot of other albums that we're gonna review.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do the Tally Hall one.
All right, cool.
So what do you say? Should we get started?
Sounds good. I guess to clarify, Matt's album is Aim and Ignite. Mine was Tally Hall's.
Yes. That was probably a good detail I should have mentioned before I went on my little tirade.
You'll learn in due time.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
It's season 2, you know? It's a time for growth.
Season 2, more like season poo. Anyway, what were we going to say, Matt? All right, Matt, do you just want to hop right into it with this first track?
Yes, I do. The first track is Be Calm.
Yes, it is. A track that I liked on first listen, and then I really disliked on second listen.
That is insanely valid. Like, by the way, for a little bit of background, well, more background, I guess I should say, I used to love this album a lot, but upon re-listening to it in like the last, I'd say month or so, because I've kind of been like just sort of having this on the back burner, I realized I really don't like this album that much anymore.
Okay.
I like it more than some nights.
I agree.
For a lot of reasons. But at the same time, because I feel like this is more the quintessential direction that Fun should have stayed in.
Yeah, this album is a lot more consistent than some nights in terms of sound and quality.
Yes.
And then they just kind of went really, I wouldn't say experimental, but experimental for their genre, and it did not pay off.
No, I would definitely agree with that for sure. But Be Calm, to be honest, is the whole vibe of the fucking song is such the opposite of the title.
Yeah.
But I think that's the point. I think the song's really about his like anxiety, especially like as he's trying to like shift into this new lifestyle of like being like a vagabond, like rock singer essentially.
Old band is done. He's moving out of his like home state. New project going on. He's nervous and he's just talking about being anxious.
For a little bit of context, Nate Russ was part of The Format. Jack Antonoff was part of Steel Train. Shit, I forget the band that Andrew Dost was part of. It was a weird thing. It kind of sounded like Mayflower, I think. It was something like that. I don't remember. Some weird
in the description.
We'll figure it out.
That's a marker for me.
First one of the season.
Let's go.
But I think for what it's worth, I like the way that this song, presents itself.
Yeah.
I like the way that it sort of is very like choppy in terms of all like the genres it puts in. Because 1 second it's like a string concerto.
Yeah.
The next second it's a rock opera. Then it's a fucking marching band.
Yeah.
Which I did love the marching band part.
I
That part
agree.
kind of fucks.
Like the musical arrangements all across this album are brilliant. They're very good. It's more. I just don't really like. Like I love the second half of the song when it's more just like the standard kind of rock stuff.
Yeah.
But the first half when it's more theatercore, I do not like.
It's very much Black Parade.
Yeah.
It very much get like the marching band part, I would say. The early part, I think it like, I don't know, it does a nice little job of sort of like going into this like Largo, more like broad string thing, and then into the dun, 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 dun kind of deal.
Yeah.
With like the, so I walked in my new city, like that part. I think it's kind of, I like this song more than a lot of the other ones, which I will get into. But at the same time, I understand you not liking it that much.
This just isn't like my thing. Like you know me, Matt. So this is just not going to be a song that I'm particularly fond of. Also, just Nate. Like I will say, Nate Roos is a lot more tolerable on this album than he is on some nights.
Yes, I agree.
But of course, he still has his moments where he just he wails and caws and screeches.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
So, really random. By the way, I'm pretty sure he wrote most of the lyrics on here. You know, him and Sam Means, but who the fuck is that guy, I guess? Thanks a lot.
We love you, Sam.
Here's the thing. I do kind of like the way that it's like almost staged like a play. And maybe this is because like I grew up as kind of a theater guy. Unfortunately.
Ew.
But I like the controlled chaos. I like in the second verse when like the other voices kind of kick in and they're judging Nate Roos. Because AJ, we're a couple of voices and we're judging Nate Roos.
That's true.
So it kind of works out. You know
like
what I mean?
we're in the song, dude. That's crazy.
So the one lyric, this is kind of like a silly thing. You hate your pulse because it still thinks you're alive or whatever. I thought it was you hate your boss because he still thinks you're alive. I used to be like, damn, what 9 to 5 is he working in?
We're working at the 7-Eleven graveyard shift, dude.
Remember the fucking game Whack Your Boss?
Maybe. There's like a core memory like trying to protrude out, but it's not quite there yet.
It's rendering.
Yeah.
It was a weird game where you had to like, you basically use objects all around the room to kill your boss.
Was this on like addicting games or something?
Maybe. I know PewDiePie played it like a lot.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like a little too much. He didn't even have, he's self-employed. Like what the fuck is he doing?
Maybe it's just about like self-hatred therapy, you know?
Oh man. But Be Calm, I think for the most part, it does kind of set the tone pretty good for this
It
album.
works for what it's trying to do, portraying just Nate's anxiety for moving on to this new stage in his life. And it's executed very well, but I just don't like that execution. So it's just a personal thing for me.
No, and I completely get that because this album is, I feel like Fun is kind of a weird pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because they kind of went from this shit to Some Nights, and then all of a sudden they blew up.
And then they disappeared.
Yeah.
It's such a weird career for a band because they did have a lot of potential and talent, especially with that lineup, but then they just never really capitalized on it after Some Nights.
They have a lot of singles that are in this ballpark area of sound, and then they're like, let's go to hip hop. And we're like, no, we're good. It's like Evan, AJ's friend Evan, shout out to the second to last episode of season 1. Evan coined this phrase that I've used religiously called white men on the verge of rapping. I love that phraseology, like phrasing. Sorry. Someone recently made fun of me for saying phraseology. And I was just like, hey, listen, let me be me. Okay?
I have a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you have?
Exactly. Shout out to my girlfriend Emma. But anyway.
Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Evan. Shall we move on to this next track?
Yes.
I really like this next track a lot.
I have come to appreciate Benson Hedges, track number 2, a lot more. When I was younger, I did not like this song. It's because of the holy God. Like, I hated it. It sounded just like a bunch of clashing voice parts, just trying to like sing at like at the same time, and it just didn't work. But I really like the sort of sub-chorus, I think I'm ready to go, that part.
I also love fucking Andrew Dost keys on this song with all the upbeat accents.
Yes.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They are. I really like the drums on this one too.
Dude, that ride cymbal is so light, but it like flavors the song so well.
Yeah, their drummer was very, very good on this album. I know Jack Antonoff did some of the drumming on this, but their drummer was fucking wild. Because I think I actually have a list of like all the tracks that like some of the people did drums for.
Damn, man, look at you.
Yeah, I'm trying to be more efficient this time around, guys, because I noticed I was tripping up a little bit. Maybe someday I'll give you a proper review of Hurry up, we're dreaming. Shout out to that episode that I completely did not plan out well. But hey, we live, we learn.
At least scaring the hose was good.
That's true. Benson Hedges, though, I honestly, like, I've come to really appreciate this song for what it's worth. I really think, like, it has, like, the same energy almost as Don't Stop Me Now.
A little bit.
Like, with, like, the way that it's, like, really upbeat, even though it's not necessarily, like, you know.
That kind of tone.
Yeah. The E-piano is so good, like you mentioned with Andrew Dost.
Oh, dude, those accents are fucking beautiful. I love it. It sounds like a jazz fusion album. It's great.
I think this is honestly, in my opinion, the most highly underrated song on this album.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. This is probably one of, if not my favorite song on the album.
Also, the singles they chose for this album, bullshit. Like, I don't know why they chose any of the singles that they chose for this album, because it has so many better songs other than the ones they chose.
I did have a note for when I first, not even when I listened to the song, when I first wrote down the title, it was Mordecai and Bring Me the Launch Pad or You're Fired.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. That's funny as shit.
Thank you.
Hey Jay, I missed you. Like, so much.
I miss you too, buddy.
Man, we're recording another episode later on. I won't spoil, but
yeah.
Let me tell you,
new segment.
It's gonna be great. Should we tell them about it, or should we keep it under wraps?
I mean, you guys have heard the trailer by this point, but yeah, the new segment, fan favorite guest Tom Murphy will be appearing every 3 weeks to discuss a critically acclaimed, beloved classic album of our choosing, just to see if we can find one that he actually likes.
At time of recording, we are actually recording his episode right after this.
Exactly.
And I cannot wait to exchange the banter between AJ and him here in the studio. It's going to be quite a fun time.
It's needed. It's been too fucking long.
For real, for real.
But anyway, Benson Hedges, anything else to say? I really like the song a lot.
I've come to really appreciate it more, and I think I might actually start listening to it more as one of like the more like tolerable ones on this album.
It's cool. Like it kind of fluctuates between like the gospel choir and like this kind of like the indie rock, almost prog instrumental that they have going on in the verses, and they balance it very well. It's just a fun upbeat song, and I really like it.
Me too.
All right, should I move on to the next track?
I say we should.
All right, so this one, All the Pretty Girls, is it the lead single or one of them?
It's not. The lead single is actually number 5.
Oh.
I know, right? Like, what the fuck? We'll get there. We'll get there.
Anyway, All the Pretty Girls, holy fuck, they just wrote an ELO song.
They really did.
Like, Jesus Christ.
But it works?
So I had like a problem with it when I first listened. I was like, well, this is so derivative. Why wouldn't they just do something original? But it's just the one track. They do it very well and very really faithfully. Do. So I feel like it's fine. It's a nice love letter to ELO.
It is. Yeah. They emulate their sound quite well. I'd say, like, this song lyrically is my least favorite.
I agree.
I don't like the message. Yeah. It's like...
it's just negging women.
You're the one that I'm possibly in love with, but you don't like me back, so I'm just going to insult your boots, your hair, and the fact that you like the 80s. Yeah. It's like, fuck you.
I know, like shut the fuck up, Nate.
Like, nobody gives a shit, okay?
Nate, get the fuck out. Nate, oh, god fucking damn it.
Jesus Christ. Stop touching me.
We can't have one episode without him.
Get the spray. Anyway, no, I mean, musically, I really like where this song is at because, like you said, you made a good point about it emulating ELO. I never really thought of it that way, but it really, really does.
Yeah, like it has the backup vocals from, what song is that? It has the backup vocals of Sweet Talking Woman, like the filter that they have on the voices. I think it's during one of the verses. The backup vocals kind of come into accent Nate's vocals.
It's like the I do.
Yep.
I do. Yeah. Out, baby.
They're literally taken from Sweet Talking Woman. It's cool.
It's admirable.
Yeah.
I think like when it's I think there's sampling methods when it's like done like this and not as egregious as like the Some Nights intro.
Yes.
You know, with whales and shit. I think it works out.
It's done tastefully.
No, yeah, for sure. I will say the strings on this song fuck so hard.
They're great.
And I love like the little clack shit.
The castanets?
Yes.
Yeah, that are just like present throughout. Another ELO staple.
Castanets, clack shit. It's great.
Take your poison, whatever you're feeling.
I did a motion that's sort of like a crab, ladies and gentlemen, as you can't see me. So
yes, just imagine Matt doing little crab hands.
But I do like the way that this song, like tone wise, presents itself. It feels so carefree, so light and airy, and just like, I don't know, fun. But I don't like the lyrics a lot.
Yeah, the lyrics are the worst part of this song. It feels gross.
It really, really
Yeah.
does. And the thing is, the music video does not help very much.
Okay.
This is probably one of the only music videos I've actually seen for this album. It's the three bandmates getting chased by a bunch of girls, but at the very end, they become piñatas and they beat the shit out of them.
They get beaten as piñatas?
They get beaten.
Cool.
No, they don't beat them.
Okay, cool.
Oh, man. We were not about to confirm whether or not Carry On was about domestic violence. But no, I think that kind of is a nice trade-off, the fact that they end up being...
the ones in the wrong.
Yes. But I don't like the message, but musically I like where it's at.
It's very good. A very good love letter to the band with some cool production techniques.
Who cares if her hair is too long?
I know, or that she likes the 80s. Like,
Yeah, I love the 80s.
If fucking Stranger Things is the biggest thing around.
For real,
Yeah.
for real. But,
Anyway.
shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on to track number 4, I Want to Be the One. Is this a prequel to Why Am I the One off of Some Nights?
No, I want to... Why Am I the One was written in like the absolute fucking like pinnacle of his despair in his life, like the precipice of everything. And this one is just like, this one's actually a nicer love song in my opinion.
It's pretty upbeat, it sounds almost like a kid show, the instrumental.
Yes,
almost.
yes. So one of the things I described this album as upon re-listening, it sounds like Wii Music, but a lot more problematic lyrically.
Yeah. Wii Music is problematic from a different standpoint.
Yeah, the Toots, they all do lines of coke.
That's true.
That's why do you think they're so chipper every
the
single
Toots
time?
allegations. Oh God, that's a
dude.
fucking rabbit hole for another episode.
Pedro, oh man. But anyway, yeah, no, this is sort of an example of like that sort of vibe. It sounds like weirdly problematic and sexist Wii Music. Sexist Wii Music is a great album title, by the way. I'm gonna write that. But anyway, I actually like this song a lot more. I feel like it just kind of works. It's like a sweeter love song.
Yeah.
Just, I want to be the one to put it in a song.
Yeah.
Like when he writes like positively and tries and not just about him being like, I'm a grumpy teenager and I hate women.
And Twitter.
But I love women.
But they don't love me.
So I hate the 80s.
It's a pipeline, ladies and
It
gentlemen.
really is. I like this one though. It's just an honest, like inoffensive song.
It has like this almost kind of whimsical feel to it, with the emphasis on trombone carrying out the main like musical hook.
And the way that like the brass instruments sort of weave in and out of all the verses and like the song. I like the drums on this too.
They're
the
good.
percussion is really, really nice. Shit, what was I gonna say? There's something else.
There's a nice harpsichord break during the
There
bridge, which is very cool.
One of the things I also wrote about this track in particular was that it sounds like the lobby music for the Jackbox game Dictionarium. So it's I don't know, it's melodious and elegant almost in certain parts, but then it's sort of like a simple like adagio like walking pace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It's a nice like randomly celebratory song.
It's a nice little quaint track.
Yeah. But not my favorite. I never particularly like went to listen to this, and I would always skip whenever it came on.
Gotcha.
Mostly because I just kind of find the dun 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 dun. I found it annoying and repetitive. It's like, oh, that's so cool. You really utilized that theory class. Like that's great. But anything else to say about it, AJ?
Not really a favorite, but inoffensive.
Yeah, inoffensive. That's literally what I wrote too. This next track, At Least I'm Not As Sad, parentheses, as I used to be. Weird fact, this used to be my favorite song by them
Really?
for the instrumentation.
Okay.
Now I think it's my least favorite.
I don't know if it's my least favorite on here. I think I might go to one later, but it's not very good.
No, it's basically the story of how Nate kind of came to be where he is and like seeing all the people in his life that he used to be with and telling the grand stories.
Yeah.
But he starts talking about all the fucking women he slept with and then like, and then it's just like, have you ever wondered? It's like, no, I haven't.
Stop.
Don't mention new metal. Don't mention a fucking genre in your own song.
Yeah.
What are you, fucking Weezer?
And also, why is he being so fucking pretentious about it? New metal has such a lovely fan base that I happen to know a lot of people in. So, Nate Roos, fuck you.
Yeah.
New metal people are some of the sweetest people I've met, even if they are a little stinky.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
For real. Also, it's not like the format was like revolutionizing music either. They
You think they were the first to Baroque pop? Fucking shut the fuck up, Nate.
They weren't. Like, it existed in the 60s, you pretentious bitch. But anyway, wow, I'm getting way too heated about this.
Anyway, steel drums. I like that.
That is true.
Yeah.
I love the instrumentation of this, especially in the bridge.
Yeah.
The bridge, like, it sounds like a festival, especially with the...
Yeah.
Like, just something about that. It scratched an itch on my brain so much. Plus, the backing harmonies of, like, the female voices really, really complement his voice well. And let me tell you, I have been sending AJ a lot of his live performances, to which we've kind of come to the conclusion that he does not blend well with other artists.
No.
I sent him a cover of him and Foreigner doing I Want to Know What Love Is.
Yeah.
And it was kind of horrific.
That was pretty bad. That was rough.
It kind of sucks, not going to lie. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm also just kind of wondering how they went from this kind of nice sound to We Are Young.
Yeah, it's really not the logical progression, because like I would say like at least I'm Not As Sad does fit tonally with the rest of the album.
Yeah.
But like that doesn't translate to anything off of Some Nights.
No.
Even though they're like kind of experimenting with the genres here, it's still within their like range that they've been doing.
The closest thing that they had to hip hop was probably Be Calm, and the
Yeah.
kind of like a weird, like, I don't even know what the fuck to call
Before
that.
it gets better, shat the bed.
For real. Oh, and then there's also this fucking line, which I hate so much. I'm not a prophet, but I'm here to profit.
Yeah.
Oh, ho, ho. Look at that. We're making puns now. That's great. I just think the delivery of this song that he has is just annoying.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, it is. It's really loud.
Yeah.
It's very obnoxious during the choruses. It's almost kind of like he's mocking you.
Also, no offense to, what was it, Stephen Shane McDonald. Does he know what a de-esser is? Because, that was really, really mean. Because here's the thing. Nate has the sharpest S's I've ever heard in my life, and it like pierces my ears when I listen to the song.
Yeah.
So like, and I would say honestly, production-wise, there are some flaws in this album that I'm not a fan, especially in Be Calm. Be Calm really needed to utilize a lot of the instruments more, but it was so compressed.
Yeah.
Like, so compressed. So honestly, I like the fact that the instruments are more fleshed out in this one, but I hate the lyrics. I hate the delivery. And honestly, I don't know. Like, this used to be my favorite song because it also kind of romanticized like the loner life, which like every high school boy in my grade was kind of obsessed with.
It's either it's the red pill, blue pill, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. At least I'm not as sad as I used to be.
You only get two.
Exactly.
No, but I don't know. I like the way that it also juxtaposes this sort of like weird like loner life
with almost kind of reggae style instrumental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I like sort of the direction they came to with like the sound, but I just think it's very pretentious thinking that like, oh, everybody's wondering where I'm at now. Whatever happened to the format? Yeah, really.
Ugh.
I don't give a shit.
No, Nate. No one does. Where are you now?
Exactly. What happened after Grand Romantic? I want to know.
We're waiting, bud.
Anything else to say about number 5?
Not really, but I do have quite a bit to say about this next track.
Okay.
Light a Roman Candle With Me. I actually really enjoyed this one.
I gotta say, this one's also pretty inoffensive, and I like the message of sort of being carefree. When he writes this way, I like it.
Yeah.
It feels more genuine. It feels more respectful, down to earth. But it's also like, I don't know, just like, let's just enjoy each other about this like spontaneous and thing about lighting a Roman candle, which are fucking scary, by the way.
That's why it's called Aim and Ignite, dude. They say it in this song.
That's true. That's true.
It honestly kind of reminded me of Honey Pie off of the White Album.
The White Album, yeah. Like the Paul McCartney one, not the John Lennon
Wild
one.
Honey Pie.
Oh, man. I love the instrumentation for this.
Yeah.
Like the horns and then the pizzicato strings, AJ.
Gotta go with that.
You gotta go with that.
It's like a nice kind of like waltz. It's really cool. And like I think the drum beat is more on like the rim, which is very nice.
It's very like shallow.
Yeah.
It's very like on the edge or on the rim, as you just said. Pacific Rim, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out to that movie.
Shout out to Charlie Day and Pacific Rim.
Nah, but I mean, here's my issue with this track, really. Between the last like 5 that we listened to, by this point, this track just feels so like disingenuous.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Interesting. I thought you were gonna say like you start checking out, because I would say the next track is when I started kind of like losing interest with this album.
Yeah, I mean, I can also see that for sure. Like with the checking out. But I was just going to say, when you're flipping back and forth between like writing about how much you want to spend time with this person, but then you have all the pretty girls, it just feels like, hey, can you just stop being such a fucking prick?
Like, who's being honest? And like, when are you being honest? Like, what are your true feelings?
And that's what makes me believe that more than like maybe Sam Means had more of like a say in like the lyrics and the arrangement. Okay. Because it just feels so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Theme-wise, that's kind of where I have fault with this track.
That's a good observation, yeah.
This track is inoffensive and actually kind of pleasant.
Yeah, it's very
all by
sweet.
itself. I feel like this is the better I Want to Be the One.
Yes.
Like
it's a lot more tolerable.
There's definitely a Venn diagram between track 6 and track 4. But like, yeah, it is a lot more tolerable and it's just nice.
Yeah.
Plus, oh my God, Jack Antonoff's fucking guitars.
Yes. All across his album. Oh my fucking God.
Dude, he shreds. I love Jack Antonoff. He's like probably one of my favorite artists of all time. But that's pretty much my only issue.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
The lyrics just feel like so not genuine because of all the songs we had
prior.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, this was always a skip for me too. This is probably my first time listening to the album like all the way through, like from beginning to end, like in the original order.
Oh shit!
So I got used to hearing it like jumbled up, and so the order kind of like really threw me for a loop a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's paced very odd. There's definitely songs in the back half that honestly I don't think need to be on here.
Yeah, this is also the deluxe version. The original release only had 10 tracks.
Yeah, I only listened to the 10.
Yeah, I mean I've listened to all of them.
Yeah,
but you only need to listen to the 10. I have notes about 11 and 12.
Okay.
Because those ones are honestly, I think they're worthwhile for a listen. But like,
yeah,
I don't know.
When you're aiming to ignite by fun, the bar is only so high.
Yeah, that is true. The Roman candle is only raised.
So lit.
So lit. But I don't really have much else to say about this.
No, I just enjoyed it. I like the halftime break at the end, and one of my highlights on this album. Moving on to one of my least favorite tracks, though, we have Walking the Dog.
I personally do not like this song.
Yeah, I agree. This one is probably my least favorite one on the album. I did not like it.
Yeah. No, like, the thing is with this track, too, there's a music video for it.
Okay. Why?
I don't really know. It looks like an LSD trip.
Nice.
At one point, Jack Antonoff is green. That's all you really need to know.
Sign me up.
Like, it's a cross between annoying and satisfying in terms of the sounds that they're able to achieve.
Like, I like the choruses of this song. I feel like they're pretty satisfying, but the verses just feel empty lyrically and musically because it's such a strange beat and just instrumentation.
It's just a fucking nothing song instrument, like, or lyrically. It's like, it just feels like they need to fill it with something. The choices of instruments are also pretty weird. Like the second verse, it does like a weird like kind of like thing. Like it does like a really fast like finger pick, like not finger picking, like
strum,
rhythmic strum thing. Which I guess that's a guitar.
I don't know, maybe.
Fuck if I know. Maybe, but like the one thing I will say, I think the bridge is the only sincere part of the song because it kind of starts like thinking about all the people that like they could have been friends with and then they just weren't, because apparently you can't have friends if you're a music artist. If you're Nate Roos, that's true.
Also, just like the na-na-nas are so fucking obnoxious.
They're stupid.
Holy shit.
You're going to hate Grand Romantic when we get there.
Boy.
You're going to absolutely hate it.
Let's go.
I like the way it sounds with the piano. The piano flutters in the bridge, and it's a very, very nice touch, and I really like it.
Yeah.
However, I think the words are just a bunch of nonsensical phrases that he linked together. And I
don't even know what it's about, honestly.
It's, I guess, about depression, but they're supposed to, like, juxtapose, you know.
They're subverting expectations because it's happy musically.
Oh, it's so cool.
Man, trendsetters, fun. We're really ahead of the game.
Yeah, really, really. I had this in my playlist when I used to listen to them. Like, this was just a playlist filler.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, it had such a unique sound, which is kind of just the way I would listen to music. If something just sounded different, I would listen to it. but
Fair.
this is just not good different.
No, it's trying a lot, but at the same time, not enough.
I also have a critique about a later song that is actually it's actually a part 2 to this one.
Ah, gotcha.
Which I will get to as sort of like an ending note. But
Cool.
Let's move on to track number 8, Barlights.
This one is the epitome of fine. I didn't have too much of an issue, though. I did notice Nate like slurs his lyrics on this, which I guess he's playing a part because it's about like
being drunk and getting in a fight with a bar.
Yeah.
Or in a bar with a bar. That's some
like Russell Crowe.
That's some Cuphead shit. Oddly enough, I think this is my favorite song on the album.
Interesting.
Because I just think this is, in my opinion, tone-wise, another possible avenue if they were looking for variety that they should have stayed in.
Yeah, because
like,
it's the fun sound, but with like a blues twist.
Like this is in Jack Antonoff's lane. I feel like. Mm-hmm. Like the horns are so boisterous and present within the track, and the gospel choir I really like.
That's good.
Lyrically, again, whatever. You know what I mean?
If you're listening to fun, what do you expect?
Yeah, really. Like, what'd you expect? Highbrow? Yeah, no. Pick a different show.
These guys wrote "It Gets Better."
It's about his virginity.
God, I forgot about that.
That shit sucks.
I hate that.
I hate that song so much. But
Barlights is actually not bad.
One of the things I like, there's a couple of things I have to say about this track. One of the things I love about this song is that it acknowledges the fact that Jack Antonoff has his foot out the door in the lyrics.
That's funny.
and Nate's basically saying like, oh, we better write some music before he fucking leaves. It's like, geez, because
He's
you're
like
so
a soothsayer.
No, for real. But I like the gospel vocals.
Yeah.
I think they add like a nice, like random, like feel behind Nate. They also blend with his voice pretty well. Because Nate was also doing like a soul kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a gospel kind of feel with this. And I think it actually kind of worked, given the fact that that is a very like experimental, sometimes kind of like genre to sing in. So I think it actually kind of worked with his erratic singing style.
Yeah. Good point.
I also love how he randomly shouts out James Dean.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Like, why in the fuck would you just randomly mention an actor from like
The 50s.
The 50s?
Yeah, because Nate Roos, he's highbrow.
I guess.
He's ahead of the curve.
Unrelated, but shout out to Marlon Brando. Anyway, the end just feels a bit more like pop rock foundation that they should have been standing on more. Like, this was more in Jack Antonoff's wheelhouse in terms of music creativity, and I admire that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, this is also where I get kind of annoyed with how inconsistent the sound is.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel like here it's not as egregious as on some nights.
Yeah.
But like it is kind of a shame because you could see where they could have went, but they just decided not to.
That is where a lot of the critics also kind of took away points. They said that the album was really inconsistent.
Some nights.
This album.
This really?
I mean, some nights I think everybody was just kind of blinded by the euphoria of We Are Young, Carry On, and some nights. But yeah, you know,
fair.
This is kind of how it is.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have The Gambler. Sweet sentiment. Nice piano ballad about his parents.
I think so. Yeah.
It's fine. Nothing too like memorable about it for me. I just thought it was all right.
This was actually the first song I ever listened to from this album.
Okay.
And I think that's why I kind of have more of like a personal connection with it.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of hoping that the rest of the album was going to be more like this.
Gotcha.
But I like it. And this feels like a song that could have been in the format and maybe Sam Means had like a hand in writing and like arranging. But I'm just kind of like annoyed that like, I don't know. It all just kind of is so much more like chaotic and like, I don't know. I don't know like how to feel about it. Like this. I do like this track, but I also feel like it almost doesn't belong here.
That is true. In terms of the themes of the album that are discussed on the album, it doesn't really fit. I mean, I guess you could say it fits just Nate talking about his life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when he's talking about his life on the other tracks, it's more about like the next stage in his life and like how he's dealing with that, not his parents and how they met and how Nate came to be.
How he was conceived in this world. And he's almost like fantasizing, I think, about having like a life kind of like this with this like peaceful demeanor. You know what I mean?
So it's like the up intro as a song.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And I do like it. It's kind of a mystery as to what proposed him into even like writing about this.
I know.
It's like an odd moment of sincerity that this album has. And I always liked it. but like I just think it's kind of weird. Like musically, I like the way that it kind of goes into this it goes into this nice little like walking like pace, and then it kind of goes the long bowed strings when he's like getting really, really serious.
Yeah.
I like that. It's an oddly intimate and healthy, I'd say, change of pace for the track. But I like the fact that it's just the piano as like the main means of percussion and like tempo. Like it works. And the lyrics are nice.
Yeah.
The lyrics are nice.
Surprisingly genuine for this album.
Yes. Good job, guys.
You did it. You got one.
You got one. This is probably my second favorite song on the album.
Nice. And I guess that brings us to the last track of the base album. That is Take Your Time, Coming Home. I think it works as a closer. It does not need to be 8 minutes long.
I agree. Yeah. I don't really like how this song is like an 8-minute journey. I guess the song is supposed to be like, it's thematically, it's about him like taking his time. It's supposed to be everybody saying to him, take your time coming back from being a star.
Yeah.
I thought it was about him having an affair and like his saying to his wife, like, oh, take your time coming home, honey. Because he starts randomly talking about like,
oh, you women?
Yeah. Like really
the classic Nate Roos staple.
I don't know. It's just, it's weird. I don't really know why he felt the need. Again, I don't know why he put the song on here.
Yeah. I mean, I get like tonally and musically, it does have like the gusto of a closer.
Yes.
But it just fucking meanders for way too long.
It really does. This is also where his like moaning and like, come on.
Dude, I have
come on.
There's a specific lyric. I don't like know what the precursor is to it, but he pronounces the word called like a fucking bird. He goes, called. It's so fucking weird, man. Called.
Oh, man.
There is a little more ELO kind of style influence on this track, though, which is nice, and the backup vocalists.
I do agree. Like, I think the vocalist, especially with the, nah, like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
I also feel like in the bridge and, like, toward the, like, I feel like most of the way through, this actually might have been more of a Jack Antonoff, like, influence.
This song?
Yeah, because of how guitar forward it is.
That's true.
And he does a really fucking good job, especially in the tropical, like, Delfino Plaza kind of like, you know what I mean? Like,
I gotcha.
Actually, no, I related it to Wii Sports Resort. Because it really sounds like that. But the piano fucking shreds also.
The organ.
I love the beat too.
Yeah.
I just don't know why he starts talking about the low-income house kids.
It's Nate Roos, man. Who the fuck knows what's going on in there?
I don't know. It's just like, whatever. But I like this one. I will admit that when I used to listen to the song more, I would sort of skip, or I would like end the song more like, you know, after like 4 minutes. Just because, like, I don't know. There is a lot of repetition with like the una na. That's kind of like the main like hook that the song's like built around, but they just go back to it way too much. Not to really like reference him because of how fucking problematic everything has been with him in like the last year or two, but it kind of had the same energy, in my opinion, of like when Kanye would do his rant raps at his concert about nobody buying his fucking merch. Yeah. It had like the same energy, in my opinion, because you said it like it meanders. You know what I mean? I think one time somebody like threw something on stage at Kanye and he was like ranting at them about it, and it was like in song. It was pretty funny. But take your time. Parentheses coming home. Whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
So the last two tracks, we don't have to do a track by track, but
just overall.
The last two tracks are Stitch Me Up and then Walking the Dog Part 2. Now, a little thing about Stitch Me Up, this is a bonus track. I feel like, honestly, it doesn't really have a lot of substance lyrically, but what fucking surprise that is for Nate Roos.
Wow, who would have guessed?
But at the same time, I would say that, like, I like the way the song sounds because it's just sort of like the band at their strengths. Like, there's a nice synth solo. It reminds me of the Cars.
Okay.
A lot. And
that's good.
I think that's what I like about it with the power chords. And then the bridge is just, like, perfect. It kind of, like, slows down and, like, it has these weird drums that, like, have such an interesting, like, delay to them.
Okay.
I don't know. Something about it I just enjoy a lot. So that's Stitch Me Up.
Nice.
But with Walking the Dog Part 2.
A song that does not deserve a second part.
Here's the deal with that. They should have switched them.
Like in terms of order?
They should have
made Part 2, Part 1.
or at least included Walking the Dog Part 2 on the album.
Okay, I got you.
Because first of all, the lyrics, in my opinion, match the tone of it because it's so much more somber. It's almost like a prom slow dance.
And no
kind of
Smurf na-na-nas either, I assume.
Like, I don't know. I prefer it much more because like it's this weird, like sad, hazy, like fucking fever dream kind of vibe. And the whole song is like clouded in this like milky white haze. Like you can kind of hear it a little bit. And like, I don't know. I think it works so much better for what it's trying to achieve lyrically. Like the other one just sounds like Nate's tripping on shrooms.
Yeah,
like
there's nothing happens on Walking the Dog Part 1.
But this just has like a bit more. This feels a bit more real because like at least in the lyrics, like for Walking the Dog Part 1, they kind of like talk about depression a little bit, but then the rest is nonsense.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I feel like this one is just so much better. It's slower, but it's like why would you take off such a sincere like version of the song and then like make it a fucking B-side?
Yeah.
Like that's just weird to me.
Unfortunate.
But we don't have to talk about the acoustic version of Take Your Time or the remixes of Walking the Dog.
Why are there so many Walking the Dog versions?
Listen, the remix of Walking the dog's been walked enough.
Who the fuck let him out?
Just fucking put him down already. We don't need him here. Like, at this fucking point. And then there's a remix of All the Pretty Girls, which is also...
Whatever.
It's pretty stupid.
I like to imagine for Walking the Dog, like when they're recording it, like every time Nate walked in the studio, he had like a dog with him, and Jack was like, God, who the fuck let the dog in again?
Fucking dog again! Like... Oh, man.
Nate, we told you has to wait outside when we record.
Dude, he's pissing all over the console! What the fuck?
That's for Part 3, Jack. It's gonna be great.
Anyway, I think we can sort of wrap up this interesting album here. AJ, what are your thoughts about Aim and Ignite by Fun?
So, I definitely like it a lot more than Some Nights. It is way more consistent tonally, lyrically, as much as Fun can get, because they're not the best lyricists.
No, correction. Nate isn't the best lyricist because he wrote everything.
Exactly.
Well, shout out to Sam Means.
Shout out to Sam Means. We know you're listening, Sam. This album is, however, very front heavy. Like you do kind of reach a point, I'd say, after Light a Roman Candle, where the tracks just are kind of ass after that.
Yeah, they do kind of suck.
I would say though, like in comparing the two, Aim and Ignite is like more boring but consistently better.
Yes.
Whereas Some Nights is worse quality but more interesting. So that's kind of where my head's at with this album. But I do think that like they had a lot of potential to explore the sound a little more, develop it to make it more interesting rather than just experimenting on whatever the fuck they did on Some Nights, which is a shame because there's a lot of potential on this album. But overall, for the most part, it's not really my thing. Benson Hedges, Light a Roman Candle, and All the Pretty Girls, bar the lyrics, are probably my favorite tracks. So I'd probably give this about a C+ on this tier list.
Honestly, I agree with like pretty much everything you said. I think this, like I said before, this album used to be like a huge favorite of mine. I literally would like stay up like listening to this album.
Really?
Just because of the way he kind of romanticizes like the loner life.
Yeah.
Because in high school, all the fucking teenage boys are all like, ooh, yeah.
First one of the season, Family Head.
Shout out to my man Ken Kaniff. No, but oh man. Anyway, sorry. I would admire the way that he would like sort of like romanticize being lonely because like it sort of adds to this weird like Baroque like style.
Yeah.
In some ways, I was able to sort of revisit like the old things that I liked about this album.
Yeah.
And like still get like pleasure from it and stuff like that. But in other ways, it just feels like disjointed and messy. And it's constantly switching back and forth over top Baroque elements. It's just, like I said, Wii music, but like 8 times more problematic. He's talking about 1 second how much he adores someone. Next, he hates them for having their hair too long and liking the 80s. And then, like, one moment he's singing about the dream life of harmony and health with his family. Next, he starts ranting about how he's like James Dean.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck cares?
It is very tonally confused, like, in that regard. Though, I mean, musically, it's really fucking good, though.
It is.
It's very good.
It's more like... I don't know. I think this is more the area that they should have stayed in.
Exactly, yeah.
But he just flip-flops so much, like, thematically.
He's just not a good front man.
No, or lyricist.
No.
Like, I think he could be a better storyteller, because that's sort of, like, the main way he, I think, like does his lyrics.
Some Nights, the title track, when he looks into his nephew's eyes.
Or the other track, when he fucking kisses his dad.
Oh, he kisses his dad.
But he just flip-flops so much thematically that I can't put myself back in the space that I was in when I found this album. I kind of wish like I didn't grow up so I can like this again.
That's fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say low C tier, and then maybe like, I don't know, I gave it a 6.1, but I'm going to like lower it down to 5.9.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, I don't know. I did not like it after all these years.
So what you're saying, you will never aim and ignite again?
No.
I
miss the toilet bowl every time.
Well, shit sure does ignite.
Am I right, fellas?
I have a UTI.
I need a catheter.
Anyway, but as family heads, as you know, we don't just do one album on the show. We have two. And we will, I guess, talk about my album that I gave to Matt this week, Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum by Tally Hall.
I can never say the name right anytime.
Yeah, it's a lot of alliteration.
It really is.
Which, you know, fits for the band. They're very quirky, very kooky.
For sure. And I think what's fun about this band is that Fun took itself way too seriously.
Yeah.
This band doesn't, and they fucking ride with it. And I really like that.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes to their detriment, but
Yes.
we'll get into that.
I definitely would agree.
Yeah. So I guess I'll do the history this time.
Be my guest.
Going back to the classic format, not the format.
Oh, fuck.
But Quadruple M was released October 24th, 2005 on Quack Media, but I believe it was self-released before they were picked up by that label.
Sorry, I was not ready for Quack Media.
No one ever is.
I was really not ready for that.
It fits the band, though. It makes too much sense. But it's the debut album of Michigan indie rock band Tally Hall. The album title is based off of a real location of the same name that serves as an attraction of oddities that has a bunch of just random shit in there that you can explore. Tally Hall formed in 2002 and consisted of Rob Cantor on vocals, Ross Fetterman on drums, Andrew Horowitz on keys, Zubin Seji on bass, and Joe Hawley on vocals. And I guess we have to mention this now, but there's some allegations against Joe Hawley. We don't condone him. Bad guy, don't like him.
Whether or not they are true, we do not stand by him whatsoever.
No, we do not condone them.
It's a little unfortunate how fucking talented he was, though, in making this album.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It really, really is.
But you know, Matt, we shouldn't let him ruin our day, because right now, I think we're having a good day. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, AJ, that's the first track.
I'm back, baby! Let's fucking go! All right, Good Day is the opener of this album, and I really like it a lot.
Honestly, yeah, me too. The vocal harmony is so good, and it's like full of energy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, something about this kind of like sets the tone really, really well.
100%.
Like so well. And I just love the way that they stop and switch on a dime constantly with the vocals.
It's like Mr. Bungle, but like a lot more subtle.
I literally wrote that in my notes. Like word for word, that is what I wrote in my notes. Mr. Bungle and subtle.
Damn, dude.
That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I do agree.
I would say, in a similar vein to Be Calm off of Aim and Ignite, is very theater core, but I like it here better. I think just because I like their personalities more.
For sure. They're like not, I don't know, they're not so flip-floppity with it.
Yeah.
They're not talking about like their nephew or like,
their
you know what I
dad.
mean? Like, it works.
They're not negging women.
We're also not going to see Rob Cantor appear in our studio.
That's true. Just be on the lookout.
Yeah, for real.
He's always skulking.
It's true. His hands are really clammy. Just a little warning for you.
I always really like the chorus of this song. Just like the way that the vocal delivery is just really satisfying, and like the acoustic guitar is really nice.
I think Rob Cantor, because he does the looking through glass eyes part of it.
A few tries.
His voice is really, really nice.
Yeah, man.
It's so smooth. And they harmonize really, really well on this.
And they have the fucking slide guitar backing them up. That's a fucking cherry on top.
It's nice. It's nice. I just love like the transitions like throughout with the guitar for sure. Like the musicality is overall is just great, especially with the way they would like arpeggiate a lot of like the stuff.
It does sound almost like a musical number almost.
But then like they have these slow down sections that are like Queen.
Yeah, they shred.
I really, really like it. They do that like I think 2 more times.
I think so.
I know they do it on I believe it's
Take It For a Ride.
Yes. And I believe Take It For a Ride. That's actually the one I was about to say.
Wow, look at us, Matt. It's like we're co-hosts.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, though,
I will say we also get the first instance of what I believe is the weakest aspect of this album is that I guess comedically it just did not age well, because this album is very much a product of its time.
Yes.
It's very much raw XD, lol random humor all throughout, which is very obnoxious.
And not so much in this track, but in a few tracks, there are some lines that I'm kind of like, okay, that was there's also a whole song that I'm kind of like, oh
yes, oh boy, we will get to that.
Woo! Yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun time.
But like the part towards the end is, I think it's like after the last chorus where it has like the TV tuning sound effect, and it's like, everybody loves a potato monkey. It's like, oh, that's so random, guys.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I do like how it ends. And it is a good tone setter, and it transitions into the next song very nicely.
This next track, I fucking love.
Like, I agree. I used to not be as huge on it, but it might be my favorite track on the album. Second favorite track on the album.
The lyrics on this are so... It's called Greener, by the way.
Yeah.
It's the second track on the album. The lyrics are fucking great on this album. Like, they're sad.
Yeah.
Like, Rob Cantor wrote this song, I know, because Joe Hawley wrote most of the other ones. And then Andrew Horowitz wrote... just one of the songs, I believe. I mean, they all had like their hands in like writing all of it.
They have the color-coded ties. They're always going to work together.
Of course. No, but like the seamless transition into this song, I just love the sort of pop punk like feel.
It's very Weezer inspired.
Yes,
which is it, and it works. Like there's riffs that sound exactly like "Say It Ain't So."
Yeah,
it's fucking cool,
dude. Ross is a fucking good drummer.
Yeah, man, he's great.
Like shout out to Ross Fetterman.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ross Fetterman. Like, I was really surprised by how much he was able to just like stop on a beat like all the time. He's fucking awesome.
He's good.
He's gray tie, right?
I don't know the tie colors.
Andrew Horowitz is green. What was it? Rob Cantor is yellow.
Oh, he's yellow.
Zubin is blue.
Yeah.
Hawley is red, and then Ross is gray.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with this album and just tally haul over the course of like the last month or so when we planned this out.
Understandable.
But I just really love like the muted guitar picking like in the beginning.
It is very like 2000s emo rock. It's cool.
I think this is the catchiest song, and I think it's my favorite song.
I agree. I mean,
at least up there.
I think it's one of the best on the album by far.
For sure. Especially the harmonies like on like Don't Leave It Alone.
Oh, so fucking
good.
It
really, really is. And I like the lyrics, and it just works. It reminds me a lot of Smile off of the Green album.
Okay. Like
a lot.
Yeah, this is very Green album inspired. Like a bunch of tracks later to Love, which we'll get to that.
I don't want to, oh my God.
We'll get to that, but like musically, that is very Green album.
I have a whole tirade about that song. But no, I think honestly, even though it doesn't exactly like thematically fit in the album, because it's rather like on the sadder side.
Yeah, and just more serious. Yeah.
I just think like it's a nice space in between that and then this next track, which I love.
Really?
I like this song a lot.
Okay.
It's okay.
Anything else about Green, or do you want to just jump right into it?
I think honestly, I don't know. I think we should just jump right into the
I guess title track.
Sort of kind of spiritual like successor title track, I guess.
Yeah, they do title drop Marvin's Marvelous in like the intro.
It's kind of like Devo with like
Jocko Homo.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fucking names on that album.
Don't laugh, Matt. Don't laugh. But anyway, this is Welcome to Tally Hall. I do not like this track.
I actually really like this track a lot. I know it's so silly. Like, I know it is. But white guys on the verge of rapping.
They're no, Matt. They're not on the verge. They have taken the verge, beaten the shit out of it, and are full on rapping.
I might rap like an English. Sounds like epic rap battles of English.
It does, and I hate that so fucking much. I'll grab you by your knickers and I'll give it a smack. I don't stop that. You guys can't pull this off.
Yeah, no, I like the chiptune like arcade intro. Yeah. And then when the drums kind of like swell in and stuff like that, like that shit is kind of cool.
Yeah, well, like the 8-bit synths. It's cool musically. I also like that they use, I don't know if it's like the actual advertisement for the actual place that the album's named after, but it's like a cool kind of setup. And like thematically, it's like they're an attraction at that museum.
The studio imagery is really, really good.
It's really nice.
Fun fact, they performed this on the Craig Ferguson Late Late Show.
That's the song they did. Okay.
And
wow.
There's this one part, you know, in the musical breakdown where they kind of do the dun, 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 that part. Joe Hawley actually does like a and just like a whole thing.
Holy shit.
And it's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Damn.
So again, I'm very fucking sad that he's so problematic. Anyway.
Musicians, stop being problematic. It's not that hard.
Yeah, really. It's really not that hard. But anyway, I think the drums on this track are like really, really good.
Yeah.
Like I'm very impressed with Ross overall, and I love like the way that like it like the stuff bounces from left to right here.
It's nice.
But I just oh god,
I like the choruses of the song. I think it's fun. Because it emphasizes the eighth note synths pretty well. It's just I hate the rapping so much.
I might rap like an English chap. It's so bad. The lyrics,
I'm gonna tell you about how love bites.
He has a line about George Clooney or something in the middle of this.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like I don't need to be reminded of George Clooney. I really don't. I don't know.
I don't want to see bad nips.
Neither do I.
One of the notes I wrote was I would be embarrassed if someone caught me listening to this.
No, for real.
Like again, this is like the prime example of how this album did not age well.
No, and there's a few other ones that we'll get to.
Yeah.
I have a few more things to say about it. I like the amount of like synthesized instrument samples.
Yeah.
Like Andrew Horowitz with his synthesized instruments on his keyboard, because a lot of it is him, like with the marimbas, the synth pads. Like it really works, I think. And I will say, despite how silly it is, they do kind of go at it, and it is to be admirable.
Yeah, they do commit, which is respectable.
Yeah, I respect it.
I will say they did not need to say tizzy hizzy.
No, they did not.
A little out of pocket.
I'm a little offended by that. But I don't know. I think it also transitions well. What I don't get is at the end where they're like, we think we're playing in a band. And then you see they're all like clapping and shit and stuff. Yeah. And then you hear one guy just go like, yar! It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
2005, man.
Like, is it really 2005?
When this was released.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Age of the internet when humor was not at its peak.
No.
But anyway, speaking of peak, I actually really like this next song.
Me too.
Taken for a Ride is really cool.
I kind of like the way that they sort of make Marvin into a character in this track.
Yeah.
Like, as if he's like this weird, like, I don't even know
depressed guy.
Yeah. I find the progression, like the chord progression, a little bit strange.
Yeah.
Like, it works though. I like the weird, like the dun 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 dun. Like something about it.
It sounds like Jump Up Superstar from Mario Odyssey. Especially when the horns come in.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like that. But I like these weird, like the dreamy sections where they talk about like the Forgotten Hills and shit.
Yeah.
Like again, their ability to stop on a dime is really, really good. And then it gets to the boom, 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 boom.
One secondary sign.
It's good. It's good. Like this is where I mentioned the Mr. Bungle thing. Like it really just feels like it works.
A lot of style switches in this song, and like they pull it off very well.
And then I mean, honestly, I like also the themes about escapism.
Yeah.
I think that kind of works too, and that lends itself to the theme very, very nicely. But I mean, I do like this track too.
Yeah. I think it's one of the more like underrated ones.
For sure.
Like there's a lot of cool stuff going on musically. The horn section is great. I like the how the syncopation of the vocals, like the drums kind of really emphasize that very well.
Yeah.
And also I just love like the build up in the verses with the weird filter that they have on their voice.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. Then the beat like royally shifts toward the end, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
It really,
when
really
they go halftime.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Shall we move on to track number 5?
Yeah. So this next track is called The Bidding, and it got pretty popular on TikTok.
It did, like the sped up version. Like when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay. And it has like this weird like reggae sort of intro.
Yeah.
And then it goes the going once, going
twice.
I don't like the message of the song at all.
No. A bit of a Nate Roos type.
Yeah, it's like, okay. This has like the same energy as when one of my friends, I will not mention who because that would be disrespectful, tried to tell me that the reason why guys aren't dating and getting successful on dating apps because there's more of guys than women on dating apps. Like this has the same energy as that.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, I'm like, this is so like,
it's a little incel core.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I do like the feel of the song though with that bass line. It is almost kind of like a hip hop beat.
Yeah,
backed by white dudes on the verge of rapping.
AJ, we fucking like wrote the same exact stuff. Like this is insane. It kind of reminds me of Slim Shady a little bit.
Like the track?
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe I think it's the way that the vocal preset is.
Gotcha.
Like I've been sitting in a car. Like it reminds me a little bit of that.
I can see that.
Something about that. But I don't know. Like the lyrically, I just kind of can't get behind it at all. This is one of the parts that really didn't age well. Not the worst part that didn't age well. There's about
coming up soon.
There's about 3 more where that came from.
Yeah.
But Yeah, no, I mean, hey.
I used to not like this song when I first listened to them like a couple years ago, but I actually on re-listen I liked it. Though I don't listen to the lyrics, so this is definitely an issue.
Musically, it's in a good place.
Musically, it is very good though, and I like the feel of how the lyrics are delivered as well.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Next up, we have Be Born. This song is ass.
Okay, I like how they committed to this country jamboree style.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's whoever did the fucking banjo is unreal.
They killed. That was very good.
That's kind of insane. Again, Ross, just an insane fucking musician.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is crazy how talented he is.
But conceptually,
not great.
this song is weird and it makes me uncomfy.
I don't like the way he says all you pink-skinned babes are all the same.
Fucking weird,
like,
man.
what is that?
So the song,
what are they, hot dogs?
So the song is, I believe, taken from the perspective of an expecting father who is watching his baby being born and is giving the baby instructions on how to be born. It's fucking weird.
I don't like that whatsoever.
Yeah,
it sounds like
uncomfy.
It sounds like another thing that one of my friends said. It sounds like if Cracker Barrel was a song
with a little less racism.
Yes, with just a touch less racism. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I like the way that the song is structured too.
Yeah.
The, what if I told you? Like, I like that.
And like the violins are great on here. Like all the again, musically it is very good. It's just lyrically it's really icky. It's
and
really
then
weird.
like it kind of has that double thing where it almost feels like male saviorism, which I don't enjoy, because it could also be kind of taken as a term in terms of like somebody you like being like, you know, let's do something fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a Disney Channel original movie or something.
Whoa.
But I do like the way that they commit to the overly country and like bluegrass vibe.
And they do it pretty well.
And they poke fun at people who call them uncivilized, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But like, and it takes you to a different place, like vibe wise.
Yeah.
But I will agree though, despite them switching genres quite well, I can't get behind how the song like.
Yes. Sometimes they just don't know when to reel it back on song concepts.
Oh, I know.
And we're about to get there.
Number 7, Banana Man.
Oh, God.
This music video, first of all, this leads me to believe that a lot of the Joe Hawley allegations are true.
Matt, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, do you know what the line that I'm about to say is?
I can guess.
Oh, yeah, Africant. Wait, it's, don't you... I can't even fucking say this out loud. Look, you come to the bungalow. Africant, you tell me, told you so. Don't love the bumping of the drum. Make you shake until the bum go numb. They are all white. They are all white.
And for the music
video, I repeat, they are all white.
And for the music video, I don't believe this was intentional, but I don't know who sings, but the person who is singing as the titular Banana Man does something very close to blackface.
It's Joe Hawley.
It's that. Gotcha. That'll
Joe
do
Hawley.
It. That'll do it.
Who else? But
yeah.
No. I think that the way that they pretty much appropriate everything in this song and making like it tropical, it sort of makes me way too disgusted to actually enjoy anything in this song.
Because like it's very distasteful. Like even if they didn't think so, or it was like a lack of foresight, they should have known better, especially in terms of the music video, how that looked. Yeah. And it was just really offensive. But even just doing like the accent and just like appropriating the music, it just like, it's not a good look.
It's very much Islander fishing. Yeah. And I really don't like that a lot. Like the song structure wise, also sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I probably peaked the microphone insanely by screaming.
Though for good reason.
But like musically, I think it's structured pretty well. Like, and I like the way that they're able to, you know, commit to the tropical theme.
Yeah.
They just really didn't know how to dial it back. No. And that's where I find a lot of issue with this and a lot of this album. But honestly, I just think like, I don't know.
It is 2000s, like this humor sadly was more common. And like they didn't have the foresight, or just like they didn't see anything wrong with it just because that's what everyone else was doing. So it again, product of its time. It's a shame. And it's not a good look for the band.
The lyrics on the third track are wild, but also inoffensive. This just kind of feels like white guys with a lot of free time. You know what I mean? Like, The slowdown section is nice, though. And the way that it transitions out, again, is very, very nice. And I like that. But I just think that there's just way too much, like, way too little thought. There was not enough thought that went into writing.
Yeah, it was
this.
like, oh, it'd be so cool if it did like Harry Belafonte, and then that's where it ended.
That's literally it. Yeah. Rest in peace, because I miss Harry Belafonte
every day. Speaking of missing people, like Jimmy Buffett, man, in recent news.
I know. I'm actually getting margaritas later with a friend just to
pour one out for the king.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna drink it, but
metaphorically,
I'm gonna pour it into my throat. But anyway,
that's what he would have wanted.
Exactly. But shall we move on to track number 8?
Yeah, because Banana Man gives me just apathy.
Yeah, I like the lyrics in this one.
Yeah,
they're better.
I have a hard time remembering this track.
Same, as I'm like reading through, trying to make sure that I do remember it. This is another Rob Cantor song, I believe. It's just nice and straightforward. I remember there were a lot of like acoustic elements to it.
Yeah, it's very much just a very straightforward ballad.
It gives me like Taylor Swift acoustic era. Like We Are Never Getting Back Together. Like it gives me a lot of that because it has sort of like a weird like augmented acoustic guitar intro.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that.
I would say it much like Good Day. It also sounds like a musical number. Kind of when the protagonist is at his lowest, you know?
Yeah. It reminds me of this other band that I like called Jukebox the Ghost.
Okay.
And I don't know. Other than that, it really just doesn't have a lot offering.
No, I mean, it's fine for what it is. It doesn't really fit on this album as like tonally.
It's just kind of a space filler.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess it was just like a spot to let Rob Cantor do his thing. He does it well, but it's not really a favorite.
No. Greener was so much better.
Greener is the best.
Shall we just move on to track number 9?
Yeah, Spring in a Storm. This one it's okay.
I like the fact that it has, again, this is another one that kind of utilizes a bunch of instruments.
Yeah.
Like it has like
ukulele.
The ukulele. And then it's got some nice studio imagery with like the thunder.
The talking moon.
Yeah. Mr. Moon.
Mr. Moon?
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Ween.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Ween vibes from it.
I can see that.
With like the vocal effects.
Yeah.
Like,
and just the delivery. That it does sound pretty Jeaner.
Yeah. There's kind of like this lo-fi drum thing that's happening in the beginning.
Yeah, it's very like compressed and like muffled.
And it sounds like really like homey as it like swells.
Like it's coming in through like a radio. It's cool.
Yeah, I think the production is probably the best thing about this song.
Yeah, it's like a nice like bouncy song, like a shuffle beat. I do not like that the moon is spreading his philosophy to random children.
No.
In this song.
No. It's a little too close to home to real life. But no, like in regards to the things that we keep like sort of hinting at. But I think some of the lyrics I'm fine with. Like generally, other than the moon being kind of weird.
Yeah.
I like the lyrics.
Yeah, it's like a song about just nature.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fine. And musically it's neat with some cool production.
I'm glad the vocal effects don't go on for too long. That is something that like I did not love about the song. It's also telling, like, even though it's kind of weird that the moon is talking to a bunch of kids, it's kind of talking about like trying to burn bright until you burn out and try to give it your all. Which is a nice message. Yeah. But leave kids out of this.
Yeah.
Like, please. Especially if you're going to talk about the next song. But, I don't know. It's just, I didn't really enjoy it because of how all over the place was.
Yeah, I'd say from, like, what track is it? I'd say, like, Be Born to pretty much till the closer of this album is just not great.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot of good stuff in there. And we're still in the thick of it.
Especially
on this next track, To Of. Oh, this song is bizarre.
It really, really is. And it's like they don't really clarify like a lot of things. Like for starters, why in the fuck did they write a song about the Olsen twins? And they opened it with, I have this little thing. It's probably just a fling. These two girls I like a lot. I think they're really hot.
Yeah.
Something about that is just kind of like...
It feels like a Ratitude era Weezer song.
Yes.
It really does.
It really, really does.
Both musically and lyrically. It's very Cuomo core.
Yeah. This man just said, like, he watched Full House once and just said, fuck it.
I mean, at this time, the Olsen twins were of age in the 2000s.
Yeah, but also
at the same time, it is very strange to write about that.
It's just a weird, like, goofy crush song that they could have, used any other lyrical inspiration to write about. Like, I'm just getting fatigued by how silly this album is by this point.
Like, you hit a point.
Like, This is just way too pop about something so dumb.
Yeah. It is just really stupid. I mean, also the choruses, the way that the vocals are delivered reminds me of Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
But it's like double time.
Yeah, and it's just not nearly as iconic or good.
No.
I will say the synth in the song is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like for what it's worth, but it's just like, you know.
It's surrounded by grossness.
Nonsense. Just by utter nonsense.
Also, there's a lyric I gotta shout out. It's pretty bad.
Oh, Jesus.
I'd tickle each and every one of their fancies. That's just icky.
That, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Get it away.
I don't think the Olsen twins like that either.
Get it away.
I think it's a funny bit when they try calling the Olsen twins. It's like, hi, I'm from Tally Hall, and they just get interrupted. I think it's a funny bit, but other than that, it's just not a great track.
Undeserved key change.
Agreed.
Very
I 100% agree.
I also said, thank you, fade out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like, get this fucking song away from me. This is just like any media that's like made in relation to Full House or has anything to do with Full House just sucks.
Yeah.
Like John Stamos joining the Beach Boys. Nobody
Awful.
fucking asked for that.
No.
Okay.
No one did.
Shut the fuck up, Mike Love.
Some might say he is the best Beach Boy, and to that I say I never want to see you again.
Yeah, for real. Take your ass and put it out the door.
Exactly.
Anyway, I will say this next track, number 11, Haiku. I actually kind of like this song. I like the way it's going. I believe this is a Rob Cantor song as well.
Gotcha.
I think it's clever.
Yeah, in terms of its structure.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he messes up the 5-syllable, 7-syllable,
Every time.
5-syllable until the end. I think it's a nice kind of like cute like little love song. And honestly, I'm down for it. I think
Like, yeah, it's a nice song. It's a bit gimmicky, but it's inoffensive.
Yeah.
I will say though, Tally Hall is good at making obnoxiously infectious like riffs and melodies.
Yeah.
This song, Spring in a Storm, Be Born, Banana Man all get stuck in my head.
Yes.
And it's so annoying.
Banana Man, I've had Banana Man stuck in my head for like days after I listened to it, and it sucks.
I know.
Just the beginning part though, because like
Yeah.
I can never look you. Like no, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But anyway,
Haiku is fine. It's a sweet little song about this dude trying to write a haiku for someone he likes. I guess at a party, because there's studio imagery of him performing for people, which is strange. That doesn't need to be there, but okay.
oh whatever, man. Who the fuck is doing haikus?
Tally Hall.
Who the fuck is doing haikus at a party? Like, the only reason why I could even like check to see if it was right, I know the Jax films da 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 da. It's the haiku song to check to see if it's 5-7-5.
Oh, okay.
It's a very weird thing that he did, but I use it all the time whenever I try to see if the haiku is really 5-7-5.
Gotcha. It is fun here how just like how often he messes up the formula for a haiku, which is funny. I think on Genius it said he does 14 haikus and only 2 are successful.
Yeah,
which is fun.
But I think it's like it's intentional because it's also sort of kind of about like striking out with people
Yeah.
you want to impress. And I think that's a nice little double meaning that
Yeah.
I can appreciate. So
Agreed.
shall we move on to number 12?
Yeah, I don't really fuck with this song.
I think it's sweet. You know what I mean? Like it's silly.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something out of it's called The Whole World and You,
Whole
by
World
the way.
and You.
It's written by Andrew Horowitz.
Okay.
It's very piano driven, and you can tell because his voice is significantly different than the big three,
Yeah.
Zubin, Cantor, and Holly. But I think what's kind of nice about it is that like it has sort of this weird sort of clunky charm to it. And it reminds me a lot of like Over the Garden Wall.
Oh.
Like that kind of music.
Okay.
And the music video is cool.
Gotcha.
It's puppets.
Okay.
So it's like these little like puppets that like I don't know, it's kind of like a ventriloquism type deal, but it's neat. There's a lot of shit happening, and there's like a murder at the end, which is interesting.
Oh, Tally Hall.
Tally Hall.
I do like the instrumental though. It has like this like New Orleans big band kind of instrumental, which is very cool. Anyway, anything else to say about the Whole Wide World and You?
Listen, it's a nice little song about appreciating somebody. I actually kind of wish it was longer because I love that sort of like. They're called the Blasting Company.
Okay.
They do the soundtrack for Over the Garden Wall. And I like that sound. It's like this sort of big band New Orleans kind of like feel. It's like it's really random and it kind of falls apart toward the end, but there's something kind of quirky
Just
and nice
charming.
about it. I like it.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
I understand you not like fucking with it though, honestly. Like it's short, it's kind of
that's
nothing.
true. Yeah, it doesn't really like overstay its welcome, which is nice, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be there.
The music video is fun.
All right, I'll have to check it out. We move on to the next track, which is basically an interlude that segues into the closer called 13. Cool instrumental that does its job fine.
Can you even call it like that much of an interlude? It literally just...
It's 13 seconds, which matches the title.
No, that's so
Sally
cool.
on!
That's so cool. Like, it's just such a troll track. Like, I don't know.
It's nice instrumental, though. Nice strings that leads into the best song on the album, in my opinion, Ruler of Everything.
It's definitely up there. Like, there's a lot of really, really good things about track number 14. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like, the structure of how they came up with the song in general.
Yeah.
Like, especially the part when he starts like... Like, it's so trippy, but like, it works. It's like Magical Mystery Tour.
Yeah.
Like in sections, in parts.
I wouldn't even know how to describe this song in terms of like what it is, because it's so unique. Like it's structurally, Like this is how I found out about Tally Hall. Was back in like 2020 during pandemic times. The Ruler of Everything was kind of a meme. Like people would take sections of the lyrics. It was like, I have a wonderful wife, have a powerful job, and they like put it to like different characters. Like Sans Undertale was a big one. The one that stuck out to me was Chris Chan.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
I was learning more about Chris Chan watching the documentary, and I saw one Ruler of Everything video for Chris Chan, which I thought was very funny. And then they got me to check out this whole album.
What an unfortunate way of discovering this song. But no, I think like this is definitely sort of like a magnum opus.
100%.
Of like this entire album. It sort of takes everything that this album has and kind of squishes it into this one like final product. That I think works from beginning to end. I love the beginning with the little like chimes or whatever. Like
it's so atmospheric.
It just works. And it also fades out with the chimes too, right? Also, the voices they do reminds me a lot of like sort of Gene Ween's like vocal performance.
The deeper voices.
But it does remind me of like the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour like a lot. Specifically, like I Am the Walrus. Is like that's definitely sort of like the same tempo.
Definitely.
At least until like the upbeat part, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah, like the double time.
It's so
with the fucking like
cool.
break beat.
I do like the song's message too about just the feeling of trying to understand why we're even alive. Like something about that. It's I don't know. It just kind of gives you like a matter of perspective and how like, I don't know, the overall message of the album is, when are we going to start taking silliness more seriously? Because our lives are very futile. And you know what I mean? Like, I think for what it's worth, Joe Hawley did write the song.
Okay.
He did write it. And it was like sort of the person who was leading like the creative like direction. Yeah. And I think for the most part, it really works. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Very, very good track. My favorite on the album. Musically, it's great. I love just like the syncopation of the lyrics and how it fits with the beat, all the different characters they play. And just like the lyrics themselves are really cool. Like you practice your mannerisms into the wall. If this mirror were clear, I'd be standing so tall. Yeah. Like that part's just fucking sick. I love that whole section. And then it just fades out really nicely too.
It does. I will say, this is really, really random, but like the weird like deep voice that happens, it reminds me of the one sample from Floral Shop, Macintosh Plus's Floral Shop, where it's like the gonna take much more, like that thing. Yeah. It sounds like that. And then it made me want to listen to that whole album again.
I've been re-listening to that album a lot when I've been editing. It's fucking incredible.
Shout out to episode 3. Because episode 2 was Paul Mueller.
The bad episode.
Yeah, it's true. That was the first one we recorded.
Ever recorded.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. I'd like to think we improved a lot since then.
I really fucking hope we have. No, but yeah. Should we get to?
Let's finish this out with the last track, which is kind of like a hidden track, fittingly called "Hidden in the Sand." A nice little acoustic ukulele piece that I feel like ends the album very nicely.
It kind of reminds me of Drifter in the Dark by Ween.
Yeah.
Like,
Never walk alone.
Ooh. I do like Drifter in the Dark a lot.
That's a good one.
But I do like this one. I appreciate the ukulele and the ocean sounds.
Yeah, it is also kind of like She Wanted to Leave in that regard too.
Yeah.
Where it has like the little reprise of Dancing in the Show Tonight.
Yes, with like the bookends for sure. I don't know, something about it. Like I love the lows in this, like the low frequencies that they enhanced in the song with the humming and like the bass voice part. Yeah. And then it like floats in this weird like minor second like chord progression. Like it's interesting. Yeah. And this is the one where they have a message backwards that says, wouldn't the world be better off if we took nonsense more seriously?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
Now, with that being said, Tally Hall, you have to know when to rein it in and when you're going too far. But good sentiment. Which I guess brings us to our final thoughts, Matt.
There are 2 bonus tracks.
I didn't listen to them.
I did.
What are your thoughts on the bonus tracks?
Mucka Blucka Blues. I think that's what it's called. It's a weird chicken rap kind of thing. And he's like, "Mucka Blucka Blucka Blucka," like that's the whole fucking song over there.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
The only thing I had to say about it is, hey, the Muppets did it better, okay? Like, they did a whole ass cover of Forget You, and it was so much better. I will say the bass is pretty sweet, but
You can't just pull that out, man.
and that's what it's called.
I didn't know that. Oh, that caught me so off guard.
I think it's called just Mucka Blucka.
Mucka Blucka Blues.
Oh man.
holy shit.
And then there's this other song, a bonus track is track technically number 17 called Dream. Mm-hmm. It sounds like Lord of the Rings.
It's about the YouTuber.
Yes. It's a fascinating execution for sure. There's like little to no percussion in this. And I don't know, it's really intense and I feel like it could have belonged somewhere earlier in the album. Mm-hmm. It was a neat idea. You're still stuck on Mucka Blucka, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but shall we get into our final thoughts, AJ?
I think that's a good idea. Matt, what did you think of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum by Tally Hall?
I'll keep it brief. I like how the album's tracks always feel like they try to fill the song to the brim with things to enjoy. I think that's great when it works. Because, however, sometimes when in some areas it makes the song feel more well-rounded, that you can individually like pick and choose and feel satisfied. Other times it feels really, really annoying.
Yeah.
I also listened to this while I was playing Luigi's Mansion 3, and it kind of tainted the experience
Oh, that's sad.
of just playing the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but there are a lot of moments where this album kind of shines when it, like, especially with like Ruler of Everything,
Yeah.
like Greener.
Good day. Taking
Good
for a
Day,
ride.
Take it for a ride. But then there's shit like To Wov,
Banana
Man,
Be Born.
Be Born.
Yeah.
Like all those songs. It feels like they don't know when to dial it
Yeah.
back.
Uh-huh.
And that's really where I find a lot of fault with this album and where I have trouble really like getting in touch with this
Yeah.
album. Like, I don't know. It's too much sometimes. And they need to know when to end the joke.
Yeah.
I also am having trouble trying to figure out who this is marketed to.
I guess that's kind of a compliment, is that it's fully Tally Hall and they're not really going for a demographic. They're just making the music they want to make.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like, it resonated with them. Like, they have a cult following.
They do. I've stalked their subreddit.
Yeah.
Because I've been very curious to see, because people still like talk about. It's crazy.
And they only have like 2 albums, and that was back in like 2011 was their last release.
They're still so popular that U2s are being made for them and being sold for them like right now. They just came out with them, which is kind of weird considering all the shit that's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, in my opinion, I didn't write down a rating, so I'll give you one right now. I would say that the album, it really could be great if it just like knew when to dial it back. But when it shines, it does shine. And there are a lot of parts that I do like. So I'll give it a solid B.
Okay.
I can give it a solid B and maybe like a 6.
Okay.
Maybe like a 6.1.
Yeah. Fair. I agree with pretty much everything you said. Musically, this album is very good. All the musicians bringing the A game. Ross Fetterman's a great drummer. Rob
really
Cantor they're all just really good.
Yeah.
Again, the humor is the biggest flaw with this album. It dates it really bad.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Yeah.
And just like the longevity of this album, it's, even though like a lot of people like it, I feel like it's not going to hold up even now. I feel like that's going to be an issue. And it is it's very similar to Some Nights by Fun, where like there are great moments, but in comparison, there's a lot of bad moments. It's interestingly not great.
I like the less mentions of their nephews.
That's true.
Yeah, that was appreciated.
But though with that, we get more mentions of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a pick your poison kind of thing.
For sure.
Overall, I'd probably Probably give this album a C or a C minus. I definitely like this a lot less than the first time I listened to this like 2 years ago. So yeah, I think that'll just about do it for this season 2 premiere.
Man, it's honestly great to be back. Like I haven't done anything else. I've been stuck in a void for like who knows how long.
I know we were in hiatus hibernation in the pocket dimension. That was very cold.
I didn't find my old glasses, but I did get new glasses since then.
They look very nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They're circular. But I hope you guys enjoy. Well, we hope you guys, not just me. AJ doesn't care.
I hate you guys. You all know that by now.
No, we really hope that you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait to push out more content.
Exactly. Let us know what you thought about these 2 albums.
And be on the lookout for a lot more fun stuff coming in the next year.
Yeah, man, we got a lot of cool stuff. We're very excited. But as always, I'm your host, AJ Tanari.
And I'm Matt Glass.
Thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week.
Peace.